My name is Thomas Knox, and welcome to K.R.E.A.T.E TV. My name is Thomas Clifford Knox. I work in technology, so I work for a technology company, a rather large technology company here in New York. And I guess I create and I do really dope things. Yeah, Our Movement to Greatness is a nonprofit organization that I'm looking to create that's focused on the development of young men of color. What's unique about it is that I want to create this in a way where they get to connect with older men of color that are focused in specific industries. So for example, my last event that I did was focused on writers. So I had young men of color come in and have conversations with writers of color that basically gave them information and resources on what it is to be in that industry and how it can be, and just essentially have great conversation around next steps and if it's something they really want to do, and to kind of go from there. Date While You Wait is a movement that I've created to get people to connect in subways during their commutes. I realized by having conversations with my friends and my family about their commutes that it was something that was lacking, so I wanted to do something to give people the ability to open up and connect rather than being on their phones or rather than reading or doing things like that, just to connect, because there's always kind of negative things going on within commutes. So I just want to do something fun with that. Biggest misconception is definitely it's being about dating. Date While You Wait is not about just dating, and the reason I say just dating is because dating to me is not strictly about romance or being around love. Essentially, I go out on dates or dinner dates with my family. I go out on dates with my friends. So Date While You Wait is focused on connecting people, not just connecting someone that wants to fall in love or date. And I think a lot of people look at it as a dating option because I have the word date, but it's totally not the case. Human connection is something that I feel like we take for granted as humans on Earth, and people take things for granted all the time. But this was something that I felt like was a very easy fix, so I just made it very simple. But human connection is the biggest thing. Like how can I innovate people? But as I innovate people's days and bring smiles to their faces, learn more about them and learn more about their lives. So it was big on just connecting with someone and no matter who they are or where they're from, and kind of going from there, seeing where the conversation takes us. I feel comfortability is missing, as well as the ability to take chances. Taking chances, no matter what level it's on, can create profound, connection. And I think for me, I just feel like I focus on taking chances, and I thank every person that sits with me during Date While You Wait. I say thank you for taking the chance, and they leave with a smile. And I think in a city like New York City, taking the chance to just communicating to the person that's sitting next to you can go a long way, and you can learn a ton from that person. So I would say taking chances, as well as when you take the chance, understanding that no matter what happens, that you did this. I did it. It worked out. It didn't work out, but the chance was taken. I would say my dad growing up was focused on. He's like a Black Power and solid, and he's just a very, very conscious African American male. And my mom wasn't really into that type of stuff, but she also had her things that she believed in, and he always taught me to just stand up for who you are. No matter what you believe in, no matter what it is, just stand up for who you are. So I would say that the conversations that I had with my dad, and that I still have with my dad around being the best man I can be, is basically what got me to doing something like a Date While You Wait, or doing something like our Movement to Greatness. So just conversations around learning history and learning where you're from and learning what life's about, and basically not reinventing the wheel, but taking from elders before us and elders before me. I learned that conversations can lead to every great idea, and everything that goes on within you starts with a conversation, and can lead to wonderful things. So I would say just having great dialogue with my family and my friends around who I can be and what resources I have to grow is kind of where I got to where I am with DYUA and on. But essentially, it's very important to me to step out and connect with people in a way where I present myself to the best that I can be. And presentation was important, so that's why I decided to wear a bow tie that says "great," and I decided to put on a cool hat because I thought it would basically give me some flavor, but at the same time show that men of color we are sophisticated. We can come out in a way where we're not ashamed with who we are. So that was the biggest thing. I think secondly is how I communicate with people. Communication is key with any relationship you have, and I think a lot of times when I communicate with people during DYUA, I focus primarily on making them comfortable, but I also, with making them comfortable, I'm very, I can communicate in a way where I create conversations that are beyond just playing Connect 4 or beyond just sitting down in the subway. So I have conversations with people about their health and about how work is going and about their families, because I use a very simple way of communicating, and I try to do it in a way where it's positive and it's open. I wouldn't be living my life to its fullest. I think for me, I'm all about innovation and I'm all about creation. And I would say I wouldn't be doing much. I would be very uncomfortable and very upset with kind of what I've been doing with my life. Growing up, I always was taught, whatever you want to do, it's up to you to do it, and life is what you make it. And if I didn't do the things that I'm doing right now, I wouldn't be living my life to the fullest, or living my life to a degree where I feel like I can develop and I can become, whoever I want to be. Best piece of advice I've ever received was definitely from my dad. He used to always tell me as I was growing up, he used to always say, you either hear yes or no. No matter what the situation is, you're either gonna get a yes or a no. Sometimes the no may be a little harsh and it may hurt your feelings, but at least you have an answer to the question. And that's kind of like my motto in life. No matter what I'm interested in, no matter what I'm looking to do, I always go into the situation like, hey, it's gonna be a yes or no. And the only way for me to find out is for me to ask. Asking or not asking the question is already doing an injustice to what you're looking to accomplish. So I go into every situation with, hey, this person is going to give me yes or no. And how can I, get the best answer? And even if it is a no, what feedback can I get from that no to possibly turn it into a yes at some point? The biggest advice is go for it. Do whatever your heart desires. For me, I look at every situation like, hey, if I think about it twice, it's already too late. So that's number one. Number two, if I have a burning desire, like if I feel in my heart that this should be done and I can do this, do it. So I would say to any young person that's out there, if you have a niche for it, or there's an itch and you're like, this is something that I believe in and this is something I want to get across to people, stand out, stand up, stand tall, do it. The worst that can happen is that you do it and it doesn't work out the way you want it to, but then you learn from that and you create greatness. And I think the most important thing always is you got to stand up for whatever you believe in. And if you believe in this and this is deep down inside, it's what you want to accomplish, by all means, go for it. And that's what works. That's kind of how I live my life. I will create innovation and unique ways to challenge people to strive for greatness. Definitely say song, it has to be Common, any Common song. Like Common's the man. I'm definitely a big fan. But I would say Common, a believer. It's Common and John Legend. That's just me in a nutshell. It's an unbelievable song.